Welcome back to our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the first round. We just got done recording the entirety of the Western Conference. Now we're here for the Eastern Conference. In my opinion, the more exciting, the more sexy, and the far and away more difficult conference to be selecting in.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and start in the Atlantic. The Toronto Maple Leafs, for the first time since who the hell knows when. Actually, they've never won the Atlantic
First
Division.
time since the Atlantic Division was created.
Exactly. They have never won the Atlantic Division. They have won their division in recent memory when it was the Canadian Division, the North Division during the realignment. They have never won the Atlantic Division, and yet here they are. Fittingly enough, we get the Battle of Ontario, the Ottawa Senators. So let's go ahead and pick some teams here. You're up first here. You have Marian
Zdeno Chara.
a very young Zdeno Chara.
Oh my God. Okay, never mind. Yeah, you're kind of right. So we have Alfredson. I'm gonna go.
You have
Marian Hossa.
You have
We have.
you have to play.
You have to.
You
play
have to
one.
play.
Yeah.
If you want to know why I'm making a big deal of that, go visit Eva's Twitch channel at twitch.tv/EvAnomaly. That's how you cross promote, folks. Pick Chara and then let's go.
Okay.
All right. I mean, Matt Sundin. How do you not?
Second best Leaf at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give it to. Oh my gosh, Ty Domi.
Ty Domi.
That's a pretty ridiculous.
You're putting him on the wing?
Hell not. Oh wait, absolutely. Why am I putting him on the wing? Wait. Like, yeah, he's fine. He's good. I was thinking of Max Domi, not Ty Domi.
Oh, Max Domi wishes he was that tough.
Right.
I mean, he'll go, but he won't go that much.
And Ed Belfour in net. Okay.
See, yeah, we just got the notification you got the Crybabies unlocked here. So there's Ed Belfour right there.
So the Toronto Maple Leafs, now cards on the table here. My team rather, has a history with the Toronto Maple Leafs very, very recently. But also, I feel safe to say that both you and I have a little bit of a soft spot, not for the Leafs themselves, but for our favorite hockey personality in the Steve Dangle podcast crew. But Steve Dangle specifically,
Yes.
If Toronto is to ever win a cup again, that's the person that we want to watch. We couldn't give a crap about watching the game. We want to see Steve Dangle be happy.
Basically, yeah. And to be completely transparent, that's the only reason either of us would want the Leafs to win a cup, is to see him happy. And then they can stop again for another 60-something years.
If they played in any other division besides mine, I'm probably rooting for them a lot more often. Probably. But also, the Leafs have kind of had our number in recent years. I'm not a big fan of that either. But they are the home team. They are the Atlantic Division champion, which I would argue, while it may not be it definitely wasn't the highest point requirement to win the division this year. I think it's the most competitive division in the entire NHL, as evidenced by the fact that the Stanley Cup has gone through the state of Florida each of the last 5 seasons. I thought I scored that. Okay. I looked at you and put my controller down because I thought,
yeah, same.
All right. Anyway.
Okay, anyways.
Toronto wins the Atlantic, pulls a draw with the Ottawa Senators. Now, Toronto has a lot on paper to be happy about this year. They have prolific scoring. They have that core of Marner and Matthews and Nylander and Tavares. You throw Morgan Riley in the mix on the power play, but you also have some incredible young talent. You have Matthew Knies, who has been a lightning killer as of late. You brought in Max Domi. You have Calle Yarncrook. Like, you're deeper than you've been in a very long time. And the defense looks not so sucky this year.
Not at all.
Bringing in Chris Tanna, who is a much, much better play than I'm blanking on the guy that they picked up from Dallas last year, but he was. So there's a lot on paper to be happy about with the Leafs, but there's always going to be the question: are the Leafs going to lead this year? Let me ask you first. What do you love about the Leafs, and why could they win this series?
Like you mentioned, their younger guys, and again, Matthew Knies. I don't know if there's a player in his age group that I like more. I love the way he plays. I think he's going to become a star. Like, whether it's on the Leafs or not, the Leafs should lock him up.
Yes, they should.
Like, if there's a Tavares replacement, it's him.
Yep.
So just give. I mean, whatever Tavares signs for, Knies needs to sign for more than that. But I do. I think They're a lot deeper than they were. They're not nearly as top heavy as recent years. You know, you can like even the years where they had Domi and Bertuzzi, which was either last year or 2 years ago, one of the two.
Yep.
I thought that was their deepest year. No, this is definitely it. And their young guys are coming through.
Yeah. It's worth mentioning their goalie situation because Toronto's one of those teams that we have looked at them up and down and said, they don't have their guy, they don't have their guy, they don't have their guy. And as free agency went on this offseason and as the trade deadline went on, we're sitting here thinking, is Joseph Woll and Anthony Stolarz enough to get this team through and over the hump? And it sure looks like that they are. We were talking yesterday that Anthony Stolarz has the best save percentage in the entire NHL, edging out Andrei Vasilevsky and Connor Hellebuck. Now, he's not going to get Vezina votes for that or anything, but holy cow, Anthony Stolarz, where did you come from?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, save percentage only means so much, but yeah, he played for, who did he play for last year? Florida. Okay, and he would have easily been their backup. Oh, Bonk! Bonk is fighting.
You know what I'm going to do every punch you land.
Bonk, 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 bonk. Oh, get some Matt Sundin. This didn't happen very much.
Nope.
Okay.
That one was over quickly.
Yeah, it was. Cool. I get to play Marian Hossa instead of Bonk.
I guess that's a pretty good replacement.
I'll take that trade all the time. But yeah, Anthony Stolarz he's kind of come out of nowhere. And I think Joseph Woll very easily, I think both of them could easily be a playoff starter.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It wouldn't surprise me if we see both of them throughout the course of these playoffs, but game one, who's your starter?
Stolarz.
Yep, I would have to go Stolarz as well. Joseph Woll, he's going to be an absolute stud in the near future. He's already getting his legs underneath him. There's no reason to think that he won't have success in this league for a very, very long time. But in the meantime, yes, I think Anthony Stolarz is probably the guy going forward. Now, let's move over to the Ottawa Senators, who we have not seen in the playoffs in a very long time. I believe it was 2015, if I'm not mistaken. 2015 or 2017, I'm forgetting.
Something like that, yeah.
Basically saying that nobody on this roster, some of your very, very veteran players like Claude Giroux, have seen any playoff action. Brady Tkachuk's first time in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's something to be excited about right there. But what about the Ottawa Senators makes this such a compelling matchup for you in the first round?
You said his name, Brady Tkachuk. I mean, we saw him in the Four Nations. He's not he is a Tkachuk. He is going to hit you. He is going to fight. He is going to get in your face. He's going to be a pain in the ass. And I think there's no way he doesn't just come out immediately, just out of the gate sprinting and just start just darting guys just left and right.
Yep.
I think he's going to be the lightning rod. And I think if the Sens are going to come even close to pulling it off, he's going to be a significant factor. He might even lead them in scoring.
Now, the Ottawa Senators, they are a little bit lacking in the depth department, and they don't exactly have the greatest metrics of scoring, but they got the job done. They played incredibly well down the stretch. There was a period early in the season where we were thinking, okay, they might compete for one of the top 3 spots in the Atlantic, in fact, but they're making the same mistakes that young teams are always going to make, and it's just not been great for them. But also want to make sure that we highlight Linus Ullmark.
Yes.
Getting his payday, coming over from the Boston Bruins, and really helping carry that team on his back. I don't think that Linus Ullmark ever lost his career, but if there's a career to be revived, he's definitely done it here with Ottawa. In my opinion, you can't say enough good things about what Linus Ullmark has done for them, but he is kind of the linchpin of this team where, yeah, you have some bigger names, and you're getting production from Stützle, you're getting production from Tkachuk, obviously, and from Batherson, but at the end of the day, who's the heart and soul of that team? If it's not going to be Brady Tkachuk, it's hard not to say Linus Ullmark in this case.
For this year, especially, yeah. And that was, I remember not re-signing Ullmark for Boston being a very significant controversy because, Swayman, I don't think was fully proven yet. Ullmark had just come off of Vezina.
Yep.
And, they decided to go with Swayman, which I don't think it was a wrong decision. I don't know if there was a wrong decision in that at all.
No, I mean, arguably the wrong decision in that would have been to keep both of them because they were going to both demand a high dollar amount on that contract.
Yes. I meant, like, if you had to choose one, I don't think there's a wrong choice.
Right.
Hell, I don't even know if there's a better choice because they're both very good goalies. Well, at the time, at least they were.
Yeah.
Swayman fell off.
Yeah, Swayman,
for the year, at least.
As a Jeremy Swayman fantasy owner, I was very displeased with his performance this season. But, Boston is regressing for the first time in what seems to be 45 years. So,
yeah,
as a fellow Atlantic Division fan, I'm not going to complain about that. But let's talk about how these two are going to actually match up because they play very, very different styles of hockey. They've had different roads to success. But we'll go ahead and start with you. What do you think the difference maker is here, and what's your prediction for how the series is going to end?
I think the Tkachuk. I think it's going to come down to Brady Tkachuk and Matthew Knies. Whatever impact they have, I think whoever has the bigger impact, their team is probably going to win.
Yep.
Because there's situations where both teams win, and that's without mentioning just Leafs going to leave.
Yep.
Which is definitely something you can say. But
guilty until proven innocent.
Basically, yeah. So I think they're going to be the X factors. Goaltending as well. If Stolarz keeps up his amazing play, and then if Omar kind of keeps this little resurgence going, this could be actually a fairly low-scoring series.
Which is weird to think about, considering how good the Leafs have been. And down the stretch, how good the Senators have been as well. What sticks out to me about this series is they are drastically different in how they get things done. Ottawa is not flashy. They grind. They punch you in the mouth. They make it very not fun to play against. They remind me roughly of the New York Islanders as of late. But here's the thing, as boring as that is, that's kind of the recipe to win in the playoffs. And so whatever method you have to do to get there, go for it. I think you absolutely nailed it on the head. Brady Tkachuk, his entire contribution to this, if I'm his head coach, is going to be piss people off. Okay? Do whatever you got to do. Just don't go to the box yourself, and we're going to be fine. Brady Tkachuk is going to be the guy that he's going to be there. He's going to insult you. He's going to rub you the wrong way. He's going to lay a couple of dirty hits, and he's going to make you thank him for it. And that's why he's going to get under your skin. So, that said, I also think that the Ottawa Senators play a much more physical brand of hockey because the Leafs don't. The Leafs are raw skill at this point. Chris Tanev is kind of your only physical presence on the blue line. Throw in Ty Domi as an enforcer, but...
Ty Domi, great enforcer.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Max Domi.
Dangle did it too, it's fine.
I can't help myself. I'm literally playing as Ty Domi at this moment. I don't see the Leafs as an overtly physical team. They're going to have to get through on their raw talent alone. But
they're a little more gritty than past years, but not by a lot. They don't have that, again, piss people off.
Yep.
Sandpaper guy that's gonna do what a Brady Tkachuk would. Nice could do that, but he can play the kind of pure skill role that, that power forward kind of role. But one thing I did fail to mention is, again, defense might come into play here, especially for the Leafs, because again, I think it is good, but that's without Morgan Riley. Morgan Riley's been terrible this year.
Yep.
So, that's another thing too. Oh.
Now, neither of us have actually answered the question yet.
Oh, that's
What's
true.
your prediction?
I think it's going to be a very good series. I think in my bracket, I took the Leafs, and I took them in 6, I think.
Okay. This is going to be the first time that we disagree. I struggled this one for entirely too long. I kept thinking it and overthinking it and weighing the intangibles. Are the Leafs going to leave? And what would be funnier and what would benefit me and the Tampa Bay Lightning more? And I am going to land on taking the Ottawa Senators in 7 games. I think it's going to be an extremely fun series. I mean, just out of the Atlantic alone, you have the Battle of Ontario and the Battle of Florida. How the hell do you not love this as a hockey fan? How do you not love this as Gary Bettman and all the money that you see coming your way from the league just because
Absolutely, yeah. I think This one could really go either way because on one hand, we've said it a couple times. Ottawa's playing with house money.
Yeah.
Nobody thought they were going to be here.
Yep.
Nobody thought they were going to um, even sniff the playoffs, and here they are.
Yep. They're playing with house money. They're going to be so much fun to watch. I think we will see a lot more of them in the future because other Atlantic teams are going to start to regress, and then the others are going to build their way up. Montreal, we're going to talk about them as well,
Yes.
but another young team with some promise. But that's our first disagreement in this first round so far.
The West was easy, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's fair. You're taking Toronto. I'm taking Ottawa. First disagreement, but I don't think it would surprise either of us if the other one was right in this case. So stay tuned for the Battle of Ontario. That one's going to be fun. Hey, we have 3 more videos to make. If you want to see any of the Western Conference videos we've done, down in the description. If you want to see the other Eastern Conference videos that I hopefully have put up by now, down in the description. We're going to talk about my favorite one next, so stick around.